I'm gonna blow that smoke right up in me arse. I'm gonna blow that smoke right up in me arse. I'm gonna blow that smoke right up in me arse tonight. What's up, people? Dirk Weekdays. It is Tuesday, January 2nd. And the reason why I titled tonight's broadcast is because, as you know, all the listeners, that I read a lot of biographies, and I'm in the middle of Barbara Streisand's really large autobiography. And I'm reading it via audiobooks because that's just kind of where I'm going now. Ever since the Bono book. And she reads it. I will read the book if the author doesn't do the audiobook. But she does. And oy vey, Barbara. You know that new term, virtue signaling? She's really guilty of it. And as much of a fan as I am, I'm not a fan of the schmaltz, not a fan of the feigned demureness, the feigned modesty. I don't really think I'm very good, and I was very surprised when I won the Golden Globe for Best Musical or Comedy for Yentl, but when the Oscars came out, I was ignored completely as director, as writer, as star, and I went to the DGA. That's the Directors Guild Association, and she was ignored. And she's like, it's either because she's a woman, she's Jewish. And I'm like, everyone is Jewish. Everyone in that room is. I mean, it's not that, Babs. And it's not because you're a woman. It's because that movie was whatever. The songs are gorgeous, but it's a really boring movie. So snoozy. She throws so many people under the bus. I don't know what score Miss Streisand thinks. And it's Streisand, not Streisand. Streisand. It always drove me crazy, but man, does it really drive her crazy. Barbara Streisand. Streisand. Like dry sand. Streisand. She throws like a million people under the bus, and apparently everyone wanted her. And I mean that in terms of l'amour. I mean, she didn't say anything about Robert Redford, but she throws Mandy under the bus, Jack Nicholson. She throws Warren Beatty. And all these, everybody wanted her because, she was Barbara. Listen, in her day, she had a very strange and unique beauty, for sure. But, her eyes are very close together. She's a little cross-eyed. Which is charming, beautiful hair, and, a lovely thing. Interesting beauty that's interesting, but she's not Cheryl Tiegs or Christy Brinkley or any of the great beauty, Catherine Deneuve. She's not one of those. She's a peculiar beauty. Anyway, she just blows so much fucking smoke up her own ass that I had to put it down and go, I don't think I can continue with this book. I don't think I can take it anymore. Because I love great artists. And I've always said I don't think people should refer to themselves as artists. I think that, other people should, like being a poet. Somebody else should call you a poet. You could say I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a window washer, a urinal cleanser, whatever you do. Everyone's got a job. Somebody's got to do it. Wherever you wind up or pursue in life. But when it comes to things like that and awards and accolades and adjectives, man, she's not shy of those. There's like a million of them. And I've known a lot of people who like to blow smoke up their own ass. I mean, I've been in the business for long enough to know that some people just have, and I don't know whether I think it's two things. I think you're either a narcissist, and that's incurable because you're an asshole. Or I think it's insecurity. People who are insecure, they're always looking for validation or everybody likes a good review. Like if I put a record out, and I do read them. Do I get a little sad if they're not great? A little bit. But do I get all prideful and amazed at my own self by the good ones? No. Because I think all people in the arts know they could have done a lot of things better. And she says that in the book. However, she doesn't mean it. She's looking for people to go, but Barbara, you're the best. You're Barbara Streisand. She talks about Donna Summer, who was an absolute perfect vocalist. I mean, a technical wunderkind. She was, they did that duet, Enough is Enough. It's a fabulous song, incredible song. I mean, technically, they're both great on it, but I heard the separated audio tracks, and holy shit, is Donna Summer incredible. So there's a chapter in the book where she's talking about that, and she says, she's the queen of disco, and she knows how to do this. So I go, Donna, I'm not exactly sure what I should do here. And she goes, you're Barbara Streisand. You're asking me how to do it? I mean, do you say that about yourself? It's just so weird. Anyway, blowing smoke up your ass. That's the theme tonight. Let's see who's in the room. The eldest brother O'Malley. He won't be watching live, so have a great show. Hey, Aaron. How are you? Hello in Vienna. Dilip. Dirk Heads Assemble. Welcome all, one and all. Andrew Wolkowicz. Hey, pal of mine. Hey, good evening from a Mediterranean island. Which Mediterranean island? Refresh my memory. What are you in Malta? Easy E. I'm here, son. Welcome. Please upvote. Upvote would help. When we did the giveaway almost a week ago, we got another 200 subscribers, a lot of upvotes. So freebies, huh? Is that what it is, kids? Freebies. Okay. We have more coming up. And I am going to make somebody a quiche. Everybody talked about the quiche, and they all want one. But like I said, please live in the United States, because I do not know how to ship food internationally. I have a box with a CO2 pack. I can do that. I can do next day air. Not a problem. So I'm going to do that on Friday night. Friday night, I'm going to ask 3 trivia questions, and whoever wins gets a homemade quiche of your choice. As long as it doesn't contain meat, you can choose your ingredients, and I will make you that quiche. And it's big. They're big quiches, 17-inch crust. All from scratch for you, customized. You tell me what you want. That's going to be Friday. And I'll ship it out to you Monday. I'll make it Sunday night, and I'll ship it out Monday morning, because that way, if the weekend gets in the way, problems. Andrew Wolkowicz says, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I guess that's true, right? It's the longest book, and man, I didn't look to see who edited it, and I'm assuming no one. Barbara, darling, Barbara, Bubbla. Get an editor. Listen, she's been the queen, the top of the heap, the queen of the sheep. She's been so exalted for so long, she doesn't know any other way. So for somebody to actually edit her is probably just a mystery. She can't even imagine something like that. She made a lot of records. She made a lot of movies. She's directed movies. I mean, the woman has done it all. Get an editor, Barbara, because she repeats herself over and over again. But also, some of the stuff in there is so cringeworthy. I haven't even gotten up to the Celine Dion part. I have to keep going back, because I said this last week. I keep falling asleep because I listen to it at night. And when she's got like a great Jewish accent from Brooklyn, and it's very somatizing. After a while, you just start to get lulled off into sleep when she's talking about pickles for a nickel, and she's talking about Novi and cream cheese and bagels, and she loves to eat. She loves a good nosh. After a while, and I grew up with those accents, it just puts you to sleep. Ray says, waste of a good cigarette, if you ask me. I don't know exactly what that means, but... Easy says, do I have mods, like mods and rockers, or rockers and mods? I do. I have 2 people who wrench my show. One of them is well, actually, they're both anonymous, aren't they? We don't want you to know who they are, but I do. I do. And if you notice, the trolls have been out of my room for quite a while. I've not had any kind of troll action for a while. And isn't that nice? Isn't that nice to know? 209 and the nose. Listen, her nose is a thing of beauty and a thing of consternation. So I mean, imagine if she didn't have that nose, she wouldn't sound like that. She is she's in the pantheon of one of the greatest singers of all time. I mean, what hasn't she done, really? She did Playboy, not nude. She did an amazing interview. And like she wore like what do you call that? A titty top. Great body. Sexy lady. She made it. What's Up, Doc? Very sexy. The Wet album, Main Event. She was sexy. I get it. Patricia Teague, the lovely and talented Patricia Teague. Hello, Dirk. Hello, Patricia. Peter Campbell calling all the way from Cobb, Connecticut. Is she still married to James Brolin? Yeah, she is. They've been happily married for like a quarter century, like 25 years. She went through a lot of guys, and she admits it in the book. She's not shy about the shack ups. Plenty. She was very virtuous, very young. I mean, she didn't have any excitement. I think her first lover was her first husband, Elliot Gould. Anybody know who that is? Capricorn 1. Long Goodbye. Great actor. Terrific. He was in the Oceans movies. Great. Yes, Salina. I think she's what they used to refer to as handsome. Yeah, she's a handsome woman. You know, there was a point in time when she used to wear the cute little hats and she had the pin straight blonde hair. She just looked gorgeous. Just watch What's Up, Doc. She looks incredible. And her eyes are so beautiful and crystal blue. Blah, blah, blah. Peter Campbell, that's just your opinion, man. Indeed. Oh, my goodness gracious. What do we have here? Do I have my thing? I do. Somebody doesn't like the bell. I got a couple of bell hate messages. Okay. This is from the handsome and talented Sean. Hello, Dirk and friends in the chat. Hope 2024 has started well for you all. Please upvote. Cheers. Cheers to you, my dear friend. You are a legend, a gentleman, and a legend. Who was I talking to about you the other day? I was talking to somebody on the phone. They'll remain nameless, but we were just saying what a stylish, handsome bastard you are. BW says, she did an interview on NPR over the weekend. It was hard to listen to. Yeah, you know, listen, she's 80, and she's been famous for 60 of those 80 years. Do the math. She doesn't even know what humble means anymore. She doesn't know when it doesn't. She thinks she sounds humble, and it doesn't. And I guess you just have to chalk that up to, listen, she's done it all. She's an EGOT winner. Emmy. I can get it for you wholesale. Funny girl. Oscar. Funny girl. Oscar for Evergreen. Emmy Awards for My Name is Barbara and Color Me Barbara. She's got like tons of Emmy Awards and Grammy Awards. Forget about it. Tons. Ray says, Sean. Yes, everybody loves Sean. Anybody have better style than that cat? Anyway, thank you for the $19.99. The 1999 beauty show. He gets the ding. So anyway, I was getting hate mail from Sheen hates the dinging. Stop it. It's annoying him. You're upsetting Sheen. It's like, Sheen doesn't care. He thinks it's funny. It does annoy him, but that's part of the shtick, right? And you know, I only did it once, and people told me that they thought it was cool, so that's why I continued doing it. That's why I got a different bell, because that's the original bell, which doesn't even work anymore. What the hell happened to that? I don't even know what happened to that. Weird. Daniel L. Listen to her interview with Howard. Sounds like she had a very tough upbringing and still suffers trauma. Well, this is a very tired old trope, isn't it? Everybody with their dramas growing up. So I loved my dad, who I lost almost a year ago. This month it'll be a year. Love my dad, the smartest, funniest guy in the whole wide world. But we went through a period where we were very bad. And it was I was very young. He used to like a little bit of the tipple. He drank beer. He didn't drink liquor, but he drank too much of it. And subsequently, he was an asshole. How about this? Why not? Why let the truth get in the way of the story? There was a point in time where my father thought I was on drugs because I had long hair, and I never used drugs. Uh, I had long hair, and I was into this rock and roll music, and he would come home and, like, scare the living shit out of me with the smack me around a bit, and also, like, set my all the contents of my room on fire, and I jumped out of a second-story window because I thought he was gonna kill me. Am I traumatized by that? No, I'm not. I don't know why, but I'm not. Was I then? Yeah, definitely. Did it My dad and I figured it all out. He we had a big heart to heart. He figured out I was never on drugs, and, um, he didn't drink anymore, and I just think everybody uses that shit as a crutch. Like, listen, really bad things happen. Did he ever hurt me? No. Did he scare the shit out of me? Yeah. Uh, but I mean, people are like, it's like the American Idol shit. Well, my snail died. People, get cancer and their parents get killed in car crashes and all kinds of really serious, horrible things happen, or you were abused in various horrible ways. Those are real things. I was never abused by my parents. I had great parents. The dad had a little spell of, but everybody's does it. They didn't beat us regularly. We didn't get corporal punishment. I mean, I got my mouth washed out with soap more than once for saying, fuck or something. Anyway. Yeah, she grew up, her dad died very young. She didn't know him, and that's like the Roger Waters syndrome or the Madonna syndrome. When you lose a parent very young, they become these demagogues. They become this crazy thing where you can never live up to what they were, and you didn't know them, but they're exalted. They're the exalted ones. And they just never feel good enough. So, but her mom, for all I can tell from the book, was pretty supportive. Doesn't sound like she wasn't. Maybe a little jealous, like a little bit at Mama Rose. Maybe so. I don't know. Claude talks. Barbara. I know, Barbara. It's Barbara. It's great. You just wanna sit down, have a nosh, a cup of coffee, sit down, relax, enjoy, right? Roar of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Upvoted. Please upvote, because it'll help with the algorithm and better things can happen with the channel. Yeah, I would love that. I would love it. I'm gonna just say please and thank you, as everyone should say, please and thank you. Guy Hayton, evening from Liverpool, where all the Irish people live, right? How much when Ireland was going through the worst of times, so many Dubliners and people living on the east coast of Ireland wound up in Dublin, like Elvis Costello and the McCartneys and all those folks. They were all originally Irish people. It's a very Irishy part of the UK. And I've never been there. I've been to England 800 times, and I've never been to Liverpool. I got to do my whole big Beatles thing. I want to see where she sold the poppies from a tray, and I want to see all that stuff. Mr. Badgas, hey, hey, hey. Dilip is a big quiche guy over here. Well, I'll do really stupid, easy questions again. Maybe let's do questions based on tonight's show. How about that? I don't know. That sucks too, right? We spent, me and Asheen and a fellow listener who helped out with the auction tremendously, but keep that silent. Spent like 2 hours trying to come up with questions that were easy enough and that would only appeal to people who watch the show, my show and our show. And you did. Everybody got it right. It was incredible. Easy E, I will gladly take one if you don't mind. I love quiche. You're on the Upper East Side. I'll just get on the subway and bring it to you. That's easy. Daniel L. Easy, get out. I used to live on 67th and 1st. Oh, okay. These are all hop, skip, and fart. Hop, skip, and fart from where I am at this very moment. Vasilios P. Good evening from Greece. Where in Greece are you, Vasilios? I don't know if I'm currently still signed to an Athenian record deal. I mean, I was. I don't know, because we didn't deliver another record. We put out 2 records. Our first album was re-released on a label called No Remorse. Great guy over there on this label called No Remorse in Athens. And then my band figured out we had a lot of popularity over there, so we were invited to play some shows, and we put a new record out. And so we did that, and we were planning one, and then I don't know, people's lives got in the way of us finishing which would be the fourth hit about it. Andrew Olkowicz should feed, JW, Mr. Finissimo. I've been dying at work all day watching from my office, killing time with Dirk and the Bash community. What do you do? May I ask? What do you do for the sustenance, for the living arrangement? What is it? You're in the office. Every time somebody says they're in the office, I just think of Office Space. She would probably hire a yes man, meaning Barbara Streisand. Well, she tries to pretend in this book, and I just say pretend because it just seems so fake to me, about how she likes to surround herself with people who aren't yes people, but I can't imagine anybody doing that. It's like if I was friends with Madonna, I would tell her to, lose the number of her plastic surgeon, and stop wearing thongs, even though I showed everybody the sex book last week that I have. Well, she was also 31 and she looked great. Blackbird SPD, Dirk, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. I should have started out the show by saying it is January 2nd. So happy New Year to everybody. Hope the new year is going according to plan. I'm going to dump 20 pounds in a month. I'm not doing the New Year's resolution thing. I'm just eating smart. That means no more Haagen-Dazs at 11:30 at night. No more Snickers bars. Not that that's my problem. It's just I do it late at night. I don't eat all day, and then I eat late at night. And I got to get back into some kind of aerobic activity. I have all these bikes and all these things, but it's cold in New York, so I got to figure something out. I still love the hot yoga, but it's gone. Yeah, so happy New Year. I'm going to do that today. I had lunch today, which I don't normally do. I went to Trader Joe's and I got this big bag of it's like carrots and broccoli and all kinds of different cut up zucchini and onion, all this big bag of just cut up stuff, and I threw it in a bowl with a little bit of olive oil, and it was delicious. And that was it. That was lunch. I'm gonna just fish and chicken and steak. Jesselina got deleted. Where did your earlier comment get deleted? I deleted not a thing, Jesselina. I did nothing. Is it gone? Let me take a look. I'm looking. I don't see it. Maybe it did. I do have a couple of people on here, but I can't imagine you said anything of any kind of that would merit deletion. I don't see that. Roar the Tiger, you're in Flatbush. Flatbush city limits. Flatbush city limits. Peter Campbell. Unfortunately, Celine's performances have been a little stiff lately. Oh man. Too soon, man. I think we're gonna wind up losing her. Because this disease is, I read up on it. It is really bad. I have a friend who has MS, and he owns the wine store in my neighborhood, and he was kind of like, everybody went to his store, and he's gruff, funny, smart, and such a interesting character. And he's been bedridden for a decade, and he can't use anything but here. And his voice is fine, but he can't move. He's just like trapped in his own body, and that's gotta suck. Celine Dion. I mean, stiff person syndrome. Who ever heard of that? Easy says, at Sean Peshar, using one of my vintage gold nib Parkers. The case is square grid like the Aquanaut watch. Do you know what model? You guys are talking about pens, right? Should get on Carolyn Martin's site. Get some of her pens because they're gorgeous. Le Carré says, yes, the Islands of Trolls, old temples, and bad wine. Is the wine bad? I mean, is there any bad Mediterranean wine? Probably like Israeli wine. They probably don't have good wine. Because like I've had Manischewitz and that's not good. I mean, that soil there, though, you would think that wine from there. Is there any great Israeli wine? I know there's no Palestinian wine. Francofiore upvoted for Dirk. Well, because you're the best. Thank you so much for doing that. As I hope everybody else does. It's very simple. You just hit the like button. You know, everybody says upvote. I think American, that's more the European flavor. I think most people in America just say, I like that. I liked it. Did you like my video? Oh my God. It was like, I went shopping. We went and I liked Madison's video. Oh my God. Did you see Daphne's video? I totally liked Madison's video. Upvote. Like my video. Like my video. And when I do it with myself, when I do it with myself, when I do it with the Sheen, you know, those are cool. And the upvoting just gets the algorithm. And, you know, I'll go on somebody else's computer and I'll put on who has upvoted, and I'll go on their stream, on their YouTube, and I'll see eyebashers. I'm like, it works. It does work. You know, the bigger the better. I want to start doing like location videos, but I can't start I want to do like videos that where I'm not just live, where I'm go on, do certain things, take you guys on little trips. But I need more likes, more subscribers. Like more likes, more subscribers. Easy says, Daniel, I'm not that far. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourself. Do me a favor. If you're going to do talk amongst yourself, put a little star on the comments, because I'm clicking on all these because I want to include you all in the chitty chat. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Carolyn. Evening, darling. How are you? Andrew Walkowicz. I got a crush on her when I saw her on the Clear. Yeah, Owl and the Pussycat. She was as sexy as she was. Definitely was. But she's like, everybody wants me. Everybody needs me. Everybody wants me. Carolyn Martin. Friends. Yes. Original MASH. She wasn't in that. That was Sally Kellerman. Wrong Jewish girl. Daniel Katz. Elliot Gould. Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. He was in the original. Elliot Gould. Correct. He was Rapper John. He wasn't. Who was he in that? I have to rewatch that. Blue Copper Coffee. Evening from Belfast. Evening, my friend. I love the international folks in the room. Fantastic. Never made it to Belfast. I will next time in Ireland. I will make a point of it. It will be this year. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. My bell. Ring, ring, ring. That was Anita Ward. I don't really know that because I'm a psychopath, and I brought 2 examples of 4/4 to my music teacher, Miss Joanna Catone, in like the 5th grade. And she had, you know, like a basic music class for music idiots. And I was kind of more advanced because I was into it. And I brought in 2 examples of things that are in 4/4, which is most pop music. And I brought in Ring My Bell, and I brought in Turn the Beat Around, Love to Hear Percussion. Great songs. We had such great songs in the 70s. When I was a kid, amazing songs. Daniel Katz says, hey, Carolyn. Everybody says, hey, Carolyn. Everybody wants to be Carolyn's friend. I am now. So. Daniel L. Oh, you guys talking right now. You guys are talking about, but you put the star, put a star on the thing. So I know that you guys are talking amongst yourselves. You know what would be really great, though? What would be great is if StreamYard, which is what we use here, would allow you guys to talk amongst yourselves. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? It would be. Oh, easy. Ding away, Bubba. You love it. I know you do. Reading Elon Musk's book by Isaacson, who did the Jobs book. I read the Jobs book and I read the Da Vinci book. Both men egomaniacs, make people quit, but got the job done. Yeah, you know. Listen, I drank the Apple Kool-Aid in 2001. I was a Windows nerd, and for purely musical purposes, I had to switch to Mac because the software I used was purchased by Apple. Steve Jobs just was a great motivator guy. He didn't invent anything. He's like DJ Khaled. Another one. He was like the great assembler of talent, the master of getting people together and making amazing things. He got Johnny Ive, who I met Because when I was bartending at that horrible place that let me go, he came in one day with his family. I did not bother him, of course. Celebrities came in there quite a bit because it was a very expensive brunch joint. So he came in there and I'm on the phone. Oh my God, Steve. Oh my God, Johnny Ive is here. Johnny Ive. I have a video. I took so bad. I went upstairs where he was dining and I pretended I was getting glasses, but I really had my phone in my pocket and I filmed them. And if you're a nerd like I am, then Jonathan Ive is a god to you. And he's the guy that invented he invented that. He invented this, he invented the screen. Anything Apple, he designed it all. He's the design master. So thank you, Easy, for the $10 American. The bell resembles a sales bell. Okay, we've got a sale on lingerie on 5. Sean last night on Tim's stream should have been on the cover of Vogue. Well, don't make him feel uncomfortable now. Come on, Easy. We all know everybody wants him, but don't make it so obvious. I didn't watch Teams. I'll watch the replay. Last night I was fixing technical television things for neighbors. Daniel Katz, Bashar is still recovering from cigar smoke online yesterday. Well, you guys are all smoking cigars now, right? I tried a cigar once. I didn't like it. Is it still a bell if it doesn't work? One less bell to answer, one less egg to fry. It's like, is if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it? Easy says, hey, DK, we were all smoked out. We had no chance. Was this going on Tim's stream? Does Tim smoke cigars also? Is that a thing? I never saw him smoke a cigar. I mean, Oshina, we all know. It's his thing. Are you on the dope? I mean, he didn't ask me if I was on the dope. He just assumed I was on the dope, and I was absolutely not on the dope. Not my thing. I drink wine occasionally, and you see I drink a beer occasionally, but it's occasional, Like I'll tell you a very, very funny story. About 10 years ago, this is more than that, it was a while ago, I felt like I thought I was having a heart attack. And I was doing yoga and I was in good shape, blah, blah, blah. Smoking cigarettes is a very stupid thing to do. And I was doing that. And watching the Mets lose when they were this close. And I thought it triggered it. So I wound up in the emergency room at NYU, University Hospital in Manhattan. And I was there for a while, and they came, they did an EKG and all this stuff. And this woman came up to me and she said, she was a nurse, a doctor. Sorry. Not that that's a insult, because I much prefer the nurses over the doctors. Your advocates in a hospital are always the nurses. Remember that, kids, because when my parents were sick, it was the nurses, not the doctors, that got us all the information and all the stuff we needed and the comfort and the care and all that. Nurses rule the world. So she came up to me and she goes, okay, so how old are you? What kind of recreational drugs do you use? And I went, oh, I've never done any drugs. She's like, I said, what kinds of recreational drugs do you use? And I said, no, seriously, I drink a lot of coffee. I don't use any drugs. She goes, I can't help you if you don't tell me the truth. And then she took her hand and she put it on my knee and she stopped it, because I do this with my knee when I'm sitting down. I just bounce it, and I'm doing it now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it now. When I'm sitting still, I bounce my knee up and down. And it's just, I think it's a tick. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it turns out I didn't have any of those things. It was probably anxiety. Maybe it was the Mets. I met this one older guy and we were laughing that we were both there because of the Mets. But imagine that every single time that a guy comes in there who was at that time in my mid 30s, in reasonably good shape with heart issues, usually you think he did an 8-ball of blow, but I didn't. Anyway, it was funny. She thought I was on drugs, but I would imagine that most people probably are, you know. Andrew says, glad things worked out and you both made peace. I'll give you a little heartwarming moment. So I had this little tiny room off the kitchen in my parents' relatively large house. As a kid, I had a big room upstairs, and then as I got older, I moved out when I was 22 or whatever, 21. I was young. But I was in my room one night. This is years after that. We were weird because, he had done weird stuff, and, we were just not communicative. But it was young. I was still very young. This was probably when I was 17. Mind you, my dad also owned a bar and I worked for him and all this stuff. So, I mean, we were in each other's faces all the time. It wasn't like we were estranged. But my dad came in one night and he just came up and he just out of nowhere hugged me. And he told me how much he loved me and how sorry he was that he was wrong. And he had like this big epiphany. And that was it. That was the end of it. Whatever animosity I might have had in the back of my head or whatever, I got that from him. I mean, I wasn't looking for it because I don't care about apologies and things like that. Apologists make me sick. She owes him an apology. He owes her an apology. Did you hear what he said? She owes him. I want an apology on the news. I want an apology and I want it now. I don't think apologies are worth anything because they're usually hollow. They usually don't mean something. This meant something. I mean, he was upset. He cried. He said, I was drunk that night and blah, blah, blah. And it was the most amazing thing. A lot of people don't get that. I got it. And we were right as rain after that forever. My brother opened up a deli. My dad and I did all the cooking. And like I came off the road with Hitman. My brother opened a deli. My dad and I were in there 5 o'clock in the morning cooking up the salads and the deli case foods and making all the sandwiches and doing all that kind of stuff. And I had the best time ever with my dad. So my dad was the greatest. And yeah, okay. So what? Little hiccup. Did it destroy my life? Absolutely fucking not. So there you go. Dave 451 says upvote for your pleasure. It's like alive with pleasure. Remember that was Newport cigarettes. Their tagline was alive with pleasure. Hilarious. Carolyn Martin, Dirk, I got the opposite from the book. I didn't feel her mother was supportive at all and that her mother put her down and said she couldn't sing. Well, in the beginning, yeah. I mean, because she wanted to be an actress first. She really thought of herself as an actor as opposed to a singer. I think her mother was a little jealous in the beginning, but it seems like it worked itself out. I guess maybe because of like my dad, who I just gave this whole big speech about, never came to a single solitary, has never, ever, ever seen me sing live. Never came to a single show. My mom went to a bunch. My dad never did. And I didn't really care. I didn't really take it personally, or maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just hardcore Irish, right? All right, dad didn't want to come. All right. He's busy. He doesn't want to be bothered with the clubs. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't get that her mother, was abusive or horrible to her, I didn't get that. Or maybe I fell asleep during that. That could have happened too. Because as I'm listening to this book, it's mostly when I'm in bed, like in 2 o'clock in the morning in bed. So I do fall asleep and have to go back. So maybe did she do something terrible and I missed it? Very possible. I'll go over the first one again. I kept going back over the Yentl shit because I kept figuring I was missing stuff. And the ego maniacal shit was just too much for me to handle. By the way, some of the greatest music I've ever heard in my entire life. Alan and Marilyn Bergman and Michel Legrand. Geniuses, all of them. Daniel agrees with you. Okay, I'll go back. I mean, obviously something happened that I'm unaware of. Or just maybe I'm just a tough cookie. Could be. I don't know. Accidents will happen. Love Elvis. Yeah. Elvis Costello. I've told this story a million times. And I met him when I was young and I didn't care because I wasn't a fan. And then I met him like 20 years later in an Apple store. And he was right in front of me. And I went, "You're a genius." And I walked away. Meanwhile, I spent hours with the guy shooting the shit, doing nothing. hanging out alone in a room with Elvis Costello for hours right before he did like a meet and greet for his record label. It was his first album on Warner Brothers, and I was a Warner temp. And that's the assignment I got. I got the Spike album, and he signed it. He signed one for my friend Ray, who was a big Elvis Costello fan. And yeah, it was great. Cheslina, Liverpool was such a disappointment, full of miserable people. The lonely people, where do they all come from? No, but Liverpool is filled with resilient, beautiful people, and it's the home of the Beatles. On the map. Hello, Happy New Year's 2024 from Gorilla. Hello, Gorilla. How are you tonight? Dave, F451, going down to Liverpool. Isn't there so much to do in Liverpool? Isn't there a million things one can do in Liverpool? Come on. Vasilios P. Okay. Ionina Ipurus, Greece. Can I Google where that is? Let me see where that is. That's me typing. Is that on a map somewhere? Maps. Takes forever for Google Maps to find where I'm going. Doesn't say that's a thing. Ionina Ipurus, Greece. I don't know. I looked it up. I couldn't find it. Is that the right spelling? And I can't grab. Yes, I can. I can. Let me see. Let me get it. Can't find it. I must be spelling it wrong. She made a point of talking about that in the NPR interview. Oh, I just feel like she's like, woe is me. She's got $700 million and everything in the world, but she's miserable. But she's got a great husband. Listen, I'm a fan. She blew so much smoke up her own ass. I don't like it. I don't like it, people. I don't like it. Oh, you're an attorney at law, Mr. Altofinissimo. Well, that's nice. Everybody needs a lawyer. I'm going to need one soon because there's a bitch across the hall. She's evil. Carolyn Martin, BW, thanks for the verification. I'll go back. Obviously, I missed something. That's what happens because I'm not reading the book. I'm listening to it like a bedtime story. That's the problem with these books. I have to keep going back because I'm not absorbing stuff. Dude in the basement eating Cheetos. That's a great name. Yes, I would hire a yes man. No, you wouldn't. That's why people hire producers to make their records because they don't want yes men. I don't want yes men. I want people to tell me what I did that's fucked so I can fix it. Because, Barbara says she's her own worst critic, and I'm sure that's true because most artistic people are their own worst critics. But, she's Barbara, really? Well, what is she? She might make shitty records now because it's just, that ship has sailed. She does write songs too. It's not like she wrote Evergreen with Paul Williams. She wrote that. In those days, people, unless you were, from the Canyon, people weren't writing their own songs. Unless you were in Crosby, Stills and Nash, and the Beatles started it. The Beatles started it, writing your own songs. And then everybody else. Just Lena, £2. Thank you. £2 sterling, which is probably worth like $4. Easy says, Happy New Year to all, healthy and happy one. Absolutely. Mr. JW says, what is life without Haagen-Dazs at 11 p.m.? But you know what? I did it. Okay, I did it. I could do it again, but, I need to dump 20 pounds. It needs to go. What did you fellers make for dinner on New Year's Eve? Well, I did the stream with Sheen, and then I got on the phone with Dana and Emmett. And, you know what I made? Wild rice, mushrooms, and a balsamic reduction. It was very nice. And we had a beautiful bottle of Medoc. Good. Carolyn Martin. Thanks, Dana. Everybody's verifying. Everybody's vindicating her. Okay, so something went on. What chapter it is it so I can succinctly go there? Because it's a big book. It's big. Vasilios, Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year. I'm going to go still want to know. Send me the coordinates in the chat where you are, because I love Greece. I've only ever been to Athens and Hydra, which I would love to live on Hydra. Rootbeer says, I think your Wi-Fi is acting up. Me? I am not on Wi-Fi. I am on a direct 1 gigahertz. I'm not on Wi-Fi. Even my camera is connected digitally. Is it fucked up? Am I having a bad stream? Tell me in the comments. Andrew Olkwich, light breakfast, big lunch to burn off to the day. Breakfast for me is just coffee. Unless I'm in Italy, then it's coffee and maybe a brioche. Getting frequent freezing here. I heard Verizon Eastern Seaboard services were down. Oh, okay. Getting frequent freezing. I'm not on Verizon. I'm on Spectrum. Freezing. Wow. I hate hearing that. I turn off all of the internet hogs in my house before I come on live to make sure nobody's sucking it up. But I have a 1 gigahertz stream going on here. So I don't know. Buffering. Really? I hate hearing that. And also, for some crazy reason, StreamYard usually lets me record the episodes, and when it uploads it permanently, it's perfect. They wouldn't let me do it today. So something is going on. Time Flies says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Time Flies. You know? Easy's neighbor has lupus. Yeah. Listen, knock on wood that you don't have anything. Cheslina, love how you pronounce my name correctly. It's about how best to send a little thank yous without YT getting a cut. Cheslina, of course. Io parlo l'italiano. Molto male, ma capito perfetto. Vaughn, ciao, Dirk. Buon anno. Buon anno to you. Buon anno tutti. I study Italian every day. My partner speaks fluent Italian. Sheen, all my gang, all my friends, everyone speaks fluent Italian. I understand most of it now. I do Duolingo every day, and I confer with Paul about vocabulary and all kinds of stuff. But, you got to be in it to win it. It's fine to do it in the books and the videos and all that stuff. But you really need to, get jumped there. Like when I'm there, a couple of days later, it's pretty good. But then, I have to live there. Easy. I put a few orders. Hint, hint. Want no love. You're cryptic, man. Peter Campbell has people with Parkinson's. That is fucked up. That is very fucked up. Really, really, really. Roar the Tiger was referencing Barbara's act at Erasmus High School. Yeah, she's from Flatbush. Yeah, her and Neil. You don't bring me flowers. You don't sing me love songs. You hardly talk to me anymore. They just lay on the floor till you sweep them away. Incredible. Incredible tune. People think it's cheesy, but it's not. It's amazing. He did it separately. She did it separately. They did it in the same key, and a DJ put it together, and then they said, fuck this, we're going to go in and record it for real. Easy says, if it's Israeli wine, it's made in the U.S. Well, no, I mean, the soil there, the Mediterranean soil must be outrageous, right? Kaloi! Happy New Year, Dirk. Happy New Year, Kaloi. Andrew Olkwich, trapped in their own body would be scary, but trapped in their own mind would be terrifying. Well, it's like Stephen Hawking or people with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. I mean, that's among the worst things. And my friend Paul has something similar to that. I mean, it's MS, but he is just Captain Pike, pretty much, for all intents and purposes. He is Captain Pike. That's a Star Trek reference, if you can get it. Hey, my upvote ratio is extremely high. Well, congratulazione tutti. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. It's 100 people in the room, and that really, 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 really helps. You wouldn't believe how it helps. Like, it grows the channel. Like, already the channel, like in the month or so I've been doing the Dirk Weekdays, the channel has grown. Here's the word that everybody loves to say, exponentially. You hear that everywhere now. And here's the other thing. Anytime you watch a show or a movie, there is a character named Paul. Watch. Next show you watch, there will be a Paul. It's the name that they choose for the nice guy, the innocuous guy. He's never the bad guy. He's never the evil guy. Paul. But everybody loves to say, exponentially. All the time. Johnny O. According to the show title, I must have missed Tuesday. I hope that I had a good day. Today is Tuesday. The show title is just Dirk Weekdays. It's a weekday. I'm Dirk. And I just said blowing smoke up one's own ass, right? Up your own ass. It was about Barbara because she blows smoke up her ass. I mean, if anybody can blow smoke up their own ass, I guess it's her, because who's done more than that? Beyonce? I think not. I think you can all. I think you can be all everybody wants me when Marlon Brando is begging to get into your panties. Here's the thing: I don't believe it. She says that about Marlon. She's obsessed with Marlon Brando, and then he says, literally, "I want to you." I'm not gonna say the word, like the most vulgar word for that. I don't believe that. I just don't. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I know he was very sexual. Girls, boys, he was into it all. Marlon Brando, but there's just too many guys who wanted her. It just seems ridiculous. Okay, Ray. There's ladies in the room, right? So I'm gonna get rid of that. And I didn't know why. Johnny O says, "My bad. I read the title is Wednesday." Well, tomorrow is Classic Bashers, where the big man Sheen and I are together. Yeah. Oh, here's some Sheen level territory. Surprise, Nadim Khouri, a Palestinian, has opened up a winery in the West Bank Christian majority village of Tabeh using 21 indigenous variety grapes. Great. That's very cool. I'd like to send the name of that wine. I'd like to taste that. Nader Prince, my only 2 Rolexes I got, a root beer and a Milgauss. Should I be renamed Dirk and Sheen? Yeah, you could be. Milgauss. Ristro. I have a green screen, so it fucks up the green tint. Today I was out running errands, and I'm just like this on against the wall, and the sun was hitting it in such a way where it was the most beautiful thing. It was like, ah, it's gorgeous. Didn't see your comment, Daniel. It was deleted. Is there? Well, somebody's deleting stuff, so it's not me. I promise you, I've deleted not a thing. I have not done any administrative wrenchy stuff at all. I've just been reading and chatting and talking and all that stuff. You know? Andrew says, I've had cigars, but I prefer cigarettes. Yeah. Yep. Cigars are just they're extra, man. It's extra. It's extra. Daniel L. Easy. There's no way we didn't inadvertently run into each other. Remember David Wright used to live across the street from O'Flanagan's? Did I ever tell you my David Wright story? Here's a quick one. I went to go see Mr. North. This is when David Wright, the first day he came up, David Wright was a New York Met, and he became the captain, and he was much beloved, but he had a lot of injuries, and his career was kind of cut short. Anyway, for people who don't know, hardcore Met fan. I'm a very hardcore Met fan. I go into the White Castle to get my mozzarella sticks at 4:00 in the morning, and there's David Wright, wasted as possible. The guy was hammered. He was with a bunch of trainers or whoever, and I went up to him and said, "Oh, Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright." He's fucking 20 years old. And he's like, "I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is." And he had like pimples, like acne on the side of his face on TV that day, so I just went like this to him. Sure you are. It was definitely him, but it was pretty cool. Carrie Kennedy, that would be my sister. What are you chewing? I'm chewing gum. I was in the mood for gum. You know why? Because when you talk a lot, you lose saliva. So, and I don't want to keep grabbing the Diet Cola. Nurses Rule, Tim's channel. Yeah, nurses, you will find, if you are ever in a situation where you have a loved one or someone in a hospital, that the only advocacy you get whatsoever is from the nurses. They know everything, they do everything, they are everything. Whereas the doctors, you never see them. Once in a blue moon, you're graced with the honor of their presence. It's so rare. It's the nurses. Nurses. They're incredible. Tim needs a nurse at all times. That might be true. You pissed off a nurse, Andrew Olkovich, ended up getting a catheter. Oof. Is that not everybody's worst nightmare? Every guy's worst nightmare. Easy says, Dirk, you like millions have restless leg syndrome. It's nothing but a mineral deficiency and or hyperactivity due to caffeine. Yeah. Now, technically, I asked my doctor if that tic is restless leg syndrome, and he said no. And then he told me what restless leg, like I don't have it in bed. I don't move when I'm laying down. People who have that do. It's only when I'm sitting, I just rock my leg up and down. That's it. And you can ask my sister, who just was in my sister Carrie Kennedy was in the room. We had a great childhood. Whatever warts, whatever perceived, what people bemoan. Sure, we had some of that. We laugh about it. It's very Irish. We all are resilient. My parents were amazing. My dad was fucking incredible. So smartest, funniest person I'll ever know. And I told you, the last real thing he said to me was, "What are you going to do when I'm gone?" And I said, "I'll be really sad." And he goes, "No, how are you ever going to learn how to fly coach?" But bum. Because of my dad, I flew first class for free my whole life. So I'm not traumatized over that at all. Want to get everybody in before. Got 4 minutes left. Carrie says, no, definitely not. Easy, $5. Let's give it a dingy dingy do. I don't know if whether or not my sister read Barbara's book. She probably did. Easy, have a good juicy story of you and Ush on tour during the good old days. Well, I didn't know him then, and I'm a pretty straight arrow. No drinking, no nothing. So I don't really. He was a bad boy. I drank tea. I didn't even drink coffee when I was on the road because hitman singing is very fucking difficult. It's like 4 octaves of operatic-y metal, and you have to sleep and hydrate, and there's no drinking, smoking, and fucking in that shebang because you have to take really good care of your voice. So no, I ran every day. I went on little excursions, to cemeteries and concentration camps, and I went all by myself, museums. I didn't do anything. So I don't have any great debauched rock and roll stories because I'm a vocal pussy. That's why. But thanks. Franco Botiscastad, 10 miles from Liverpool. My sister's been to Liverpool. She took her son there, who's a brilliant musician in his own right. He's like a polymath. The guy there's nothing he can't do. He can do everything. He plays every instrument known to mankind. She took him to Liverpool because he loves the Beatles, because he's got great taste in music. Great music in every bar you go. I'm sure that is true. Yeah. And everybody else is talking about oh no, it's gone. Dirk played Powerball, bro. It's up to 842 million. What would you do if you won? I think about that every day. For me, family needs first, then friends needs, then personal wishes. My family's discussed this a million times. The first thing I would do is, not tell anybody, call a lawyer, claim the lottery through an attorney so nobody knows that you got it and that there is a way to do it. Somebody challenged the law, so you can get it anonymously. Wait till the money comes in, and then just mail everybody in my family, or just whatever, just deposit a couple $1,000,000 in everybody's account so they can just get the fuck out of whatever they're in, boom, 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 boom. Let's get everybody out of debt. Friends, family, everybody. And then, because, make everybody millionaires, because then people are always like, oh my God, do you have a couple million? You can make everybody million. When you make 842 million, okay, so you're going to get like what's 500 million out of that. That's a lot of money. Then I would buy my block that I live on, and I would eject the evil ones that have come here to ruin our lives. And Italy. Yeah. And, charity. You don't need that kind of money. Start an amazing animal rescue. St. Jude's, children and animals, because that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Sure. So anyway, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody in the chat. Hey, there's Eddie. Hey, man, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. There he is. Good to see you. Watch Beau is Afraid. Is that good? We watched I had seen some of it, but I watched all of A Promising Young Woman last night. Man, that was dark and extremely, extremely disturbing. Because I was talking about Carrie Mulligan. She's going to win an Oscar for Maestro because she's that good. Melly C says, "Happy New Year, Dirk." Melly C, happy New Year to you, and happy birthday if it's your birthday. Eddie says, "Are you absolutely positive that you're not a member of Kenny's family?" Well, listen, we're all descendants of Brian Baru. So somewhere down the line, we're all related, but not in any kind of modern way at all. My sister said we had a great child. We did. It was magical. And then she said it was magical. It was. She says the Francois were our neighbors, and New York City was our playing ground, and lots of trips to Ireland, like every year. And we spoke French, and our neighbors were from Paris, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it's a load of shit. So if everybody give a big thumbs up, a big upvote, and watch It's Brian. Look at you. You're the best. Watch It's Brian. Andrew Olkowitz, $10. Look at that. That deserves a big ding. Self-criticism, looking in the mirror and asking, where did I go wrong? Instant voice answered, let's start with your conception and work forward, put the coffee on. I agree. I've made mistakes, you know. I mean, Hitman has a much maligned second record that I think is superior to any of the work we had done prior to it. But it was stylistically too different from what came before it because there was a 4-year gap. And that's what happens when you move on. And I'm very pragmatic about it, and people aren't. So that's really shitty. And Cloud Talk says, subscribe. It couldn't hurt. Please get us. Let's get it. We're on the journey to 10,000 subscribers. I'd like to get there by April or sooner, if so, because that'll change the whole character of the channel around. And then once you get up to 10,000, it could be like Watch Gringo. I didn't talk about any watches tonight other than the one that's on my wrist, which is absolutely beautiful. Thanks to all the beautiful subscribers, likers, and upvoters, and all the people that conspired for me on that. I appreciate it so much. So on that note, it is 6:02. That is Dirk Weekdays for you. I'll be back tomorrow with the big guy at 4 p.m., right? Yeah, 4 p.m. on Wednesdays for Classic Eye Bashers. And we're going to see you then. Thank you, everybody, for coming to join me tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.